Hey everyone, welcome to Beyond the Lane. We are going to get stuck into the League Cup game at home to Doncaster on Wednesday night. Surprisingly, we have played each other quite a few times, 9 times in total, going all the way back to the 21st of December 1935, which actually resulted in a 2-1 loss for us. So 9 games, 6 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. So the odds kind of stack in our favour, and I know there's quite a gulf in class in terms of league position and squads, etc. But they do seem to be games that have a lot of goals in them as well. So it should hopefully be entertaining, and hopefully for anyone from Doncaster travelling to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it will be a really good night. If it doesn't turn out to be the result that you want, and from my perspective, I'm hoping that it isn't, but hopefully you'll see a lot of entertainment, and hopefully we'll get a lot of goals across the board as well. So as I said, form-wise for both teams, it's actually looking pretty decent. If you look at that, it's actually not too far off each other. Doncaster have, out of their last 5, won 3, lost 2. However, the 2 losses have been the previous 2 games that they have played against Wigan and Wimbledon. For us, we are looking pretty similar. We've got 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. Our last game being the 2-2 draw against Brighton, and the loss being the 1-0 to Bournemouth. We do have 4 clean sheets to our game over the last wee while, thanks to the European competition as well as in the league as well. So in terms of all that, it's look, if you were looking at the 2 teams in terms of current form, it should be reasonably good to watch, hopefully. League Cup, Doncaster Rovers have actually done very, very well. 2 wins in the previous rounds, a 4-0 stuffing of Middlesbrough, and a 2-0 win over Accrington Stanley. So it is a team that knows how to score goals, and if we slip at the back, the odds are that we could probably be punished for it, as they're showing pretty decent form up front in terms of the amount of goals that they're scoring as well over the last few games. So it's the one thing with cup competitions, it's always be wary of the teams from lower divisions. Premier League teams do have a tendency to treat these games very lightly and get punished for it. We're already seeing that. So we just need to make sure that when we're playing at the back, we're actually keeping on top of what's actually happening, because they do have the ability to punish, as has shown with the amount of goals that they've scored so far this season. So Grant McCann has his team running pretty well. Last 4 games in the third round ties for Doncaster have not been particularly good for them. They have lost every single one of those. So again, running, if you're looking at previous history in the cup competition, this is kind of the stage they get to and go out, which hopefully is good for us as Spurs fans. As I say, hopefully it'll be a win for us so we can move on into the next stage. But at the end of the day, you've still got to play the competition in front of you and not take the game very lightly, as I've already said. Last time we met was a 5-1 victory to Spurs back in 2009-2010 season. A number of players from yesteryear scoring. We had Huddingston opening up the goal in the game. We had O'Hara scored. Crouchy scored his first goal for the club, and it was his first start. So his first starting debut, maybe 4 games before that on the bench, but that was his first start in the game. Danny Rose also made his debut, as did Kyle Naughton, and that was the same season that Danny Rose scored his 35-yard screamer in the 2-1 win over Arsenal as well. So a really good starting season for him too. Who else did we have in the score sheet that game? Pavlyuchenko and David Bentley. David Bentley scored a cracker of a goal, and Pavlyuchenko actually scored a pretty decent goal out of that too. Really good header from Crouchy as well. So, as I say, these games do have a tendency to turn up goals, and they have been reasonably competitive previously as well. So I'm looking forward to a really good tie on Wednesday night. Team news for Doncaster Rovers. 2 real kind of injury concerns. One definite long-term, one is a possibility. Harry Clifton, the midfielder, is out with a hamstring injury. It's probably going to be a little while before he sees any first team action. And Jamie Sherry is kind of on and off with a back injury. It stiffened up in the last game. So he is doubtful for Wednesday night. So whether or not he plays will probably be a last minute call by the medical staff there to say whether or not he's fit to play any part in the game. On loan, Spurs starlet Damiol Anjay cannot play. He is not allowed to play in the game. I don't know if it's a stipulation through the loan or if whatever. I'm not sure, but he is unavailable for them to play. It was a shame because I really would have liked to have seen him run out against us just to see what he can do against a higher class of opposition. No disrespect, but it would have been good to have seen him play. It's unusual, but I suppose you don't want to end up going out of cup competition and sending your parent club home from that. But I don't know, I just like seeing what our young guys are doing at the minute. And if you look out across a lot of the loans at the moment, they are on fire across the board. Some of them mixed bag. Moore up at Rangers isn't having such a great time off it. But if you're looking at a lot of the other ones that have gone out, they're scoring goals, they're playing exceptionally well. So it can only be good news for us going forward as well. So for Spurs, our usual injury list is the same. Kulusevski's out long term, Maddison out long term. Dragusin is back training with the squad but will not be fit for at least another couple of weeks to get into that squad. Kura Takai, again, you're probably looking at maybe a month or so before he could be back in training too. And there's a few other wee niggles in and around that. Solanke is probably still another couple of weeks away, which is a shame because this probably would have been a good game to have put him out and gone a wee bit more match fitness as well. In terms of formation for us, I think we will revert back to our standard formation, I guess is probably the easiest way to call it. The 4-2-3-1. I think we'll see Kinski making his first start of the season in the cup. I think the cup games are going to be between him and Austin, but I think Kinski will be the preference because if anything happens to Vicario, we really need him to be able to step up and be match fit for that. So I can see him taking those. There may be a rotation further down the line with Austin, but Kinski really needs to be the guy starting these games. Across the back four, I've kind of went complete and utter change right across the board for this one. Midfield's a wee bit harder. For defence, right back, Gray starting in there. We need to give Pedro Porro a bit of a rest, and this is the optimum time to do it. Plus, Gray needs a wee bit of game time too. Centre back pairing for me is going to be Davies and Danso. We've already seen it in pre-season, and it works reasonably solid. And certainly against Doncaster, I can see it working reasonably well. Both players need to get that game time should they need to be called upon. Dogi will start in at left back because he needs to continue that return to fitness and form, as well as Spence needing to get that rest time in as well. And Dogi needs that match practice to get his fitness back up, and especially the way played against Brighton, definitely needs to continue that run of form as well as the return to fitness. So that's the back four for me. In the middle of the park, it was a wee bit tough because I was sitting thinking potentially Gray putting in there, but that then means someone else has to step in at right back and play that game that really needs a rest. But certainly for the midfield, I think we'll probably go for the young trio. I think what we'll see is Sarr and Bergvall playing that kind of midfield kind of role in the back, and Xavi continuing in at number 10. Again, he's still needing that match fitness and sharpness to continue his run of form, and he changed the game completely for us when he came off the bench and went into that number 10 role. So this is the greatest possible chance to let him continue in that role and just show what he can do as well as getting that sharpness. There's a lot of shots and chances that he had that I feel that if he had have had a few more games under his belt in that Spurs team, that he probably would have put them away. Then we move into the forward line. I think we'll see a complete and utter change there. Odegaard will continue on the left. The guy needs match practice. He did kind of flatter to deceive a bit against Brighton, but again, I think it's just due to lack of game time and match fitness. So giving him another run out just makes that left slot look really good. Kudus needs a rest, so we'll put Johnson out onto the right. Again, he needs more match time as well as getting his fitness and stuff up, and Kudus definitely needs a rest. We really can't risk him in these types of games until we hit the kind of later stages. So for me, Johnson gets that start. So up front was sitting thinking, well, what is the best way to do this? I think Tell will get the start there. I would have liked to see Kolo Muani getting a start, but I just don't think he's anywhere near match fitness to start this one. So I think what we'll probably see is Tell will maybe get 50, 60 minutes, and then we'll see Muani coming on and maybe getting 30 minutes towards the end of the game. So for me, that's kind of the starting lineup. Score-wise for this one, I think it's going to be about 4-0 to Spurs. It's maybe not the thing that if there's any Doncaster Rovers fans watching this, I do apologise, but I just think the golfing class is massive. And I think despite the fact I think Doncaster will give us a reasonably tight game to start out with. I really think that if we score a goal and get one early, that it could open the floodgates and we could see a high-scoring game here. So 4-0 for me. Tell to get off the mark. I think if he starts, then I think we might see him put one away. But that's it for me. I really think that it's going to be an interesting cup tie. Third round ones, I always tend to find, especially when you come up against lower league opposition, it's always tricky. People always think we're going to go in and steamroller, and I know I said 4-0, but I just think that the ability to put out the team that I've just mentioned, I think it's enough to handle that. Plus, we'll have a number of first team players on the bench that should things need a little bit of a tweak or a change, that we have the strength there to throw someone on that can change a game for us. I think it'll be a good game to watch. I think there will be a number of goals. As I say, I think Tell will get off the mark in this game. And it'll just be interesting to see whether or not that lineup and formation is what Frank goes with, because what we've seen over the last wee while is that he has thrown players into positions when you haven't really expected them to get the starts, and it's worked. So we will wait and see. We definitely need to do something after the game against Brighton. The fight back was brilliant. It was good to see, but it just tended to be a little bit too late. We should have done better in that game, and Brighton's always been a bogey team for us, but we just kind of, everything went wrong for us at the start, and then we kind of came back into it and went from there, but we shouldn't have been in that position. This game is at home against lower league opposition, and I really think that this is a game that could really kickstart some of the young players and just give them that confidence that when they step back into the Premier League and the Champions League, that we can see a wee bit more out of them as well. But again, as I say, 4-0 victory for me, for Spurs. Hopefully a good cup game, a couple of really good goals, and we'll see what happens. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the analysis video that will follow after the game on Wednesday. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.